And artificial intelligence is making its presence in every sphere of life, including the workspace. AI is increasingly becoming a desirable job skill to have. The next report tells you how you can navigate the increasingly tricky world of AI and also ace the job market. Take a look. Artificial intelligence is changing the way people work. While many feel threatened that the technology may take away their jobs, some have embraced it. A recent survey by ISECA shows that 42% are already using generative AI, a subset of artificial intelligence, for their work. Another LinkedIn report shows that nearly 98% of Indians are excited to use AI at work. Indeed, AI can be a big value add for companies rather than being a threat. The ISECA survey says that employees based in Asia are using generative AI for creating written content, increasing productivity, customer service, automating repetitive tasks, and improving decision making. Many experts believe that understanding the true potential of AI can change the way we all work and live. AI is even more important for those who are in leadership positions, as they need to keep an eye out to spot the trends in AI and understand how it can help the organization. But major challenges face companies when it comes to AI. These challenges including data management, information security, and ethical data usage. Also, companies need to look at creating policies which make work more AI-friendly. This would mean a big cultural shift in the way people work. A lot would depend on proper employee training, which unfortunately is lacking. Only 11% of respondents in the ISECA survey say that a policy for generative AI is in place, while 30% of them say that there is no such plan at all. Clearly, companies need to do a lot more to create an AI-friendly workforce. Bureau Report, WION World is One. And from on this, we are now being joined by Mithali Nikore, founder of Nikore Associates, and the guest is joining us live from New Delhi. Welcome to the broadcast, Mr. Nikore.
It's Miss Nikore.
Right, Ms. Nikore. My first question to you is that how can AI help employees at a workspace? We know it is the talk of the town in today's time, but shed some light on how AI can actually help employees.
So firstly, thanks a lot for having me on the show and to discuss this very, very important topic. So I think at this point in time, when I'm looking for my own company and I look at hiring, I really want to have young people who are able to work with AI. Nobody is saying that AI is replacing your job, but the idea is that I should be able to delegate some work to my team and they should be able to use a suitable AI tool in order to implement that task. Now, that may not be ChatGPT necessarily. It could be any of the different AI tools that we have. For example, one tool that we use frequently is called Assembly, which actually prepares meeting minutes and it does it seamlessly. Within 15 minutes, it can prepare the minutes of a 2-3 hour long meeting, which typically a human person, a human intern or a young person can take even up to a day to do. So you can imagine in a very relatable way, it is saving me a day's labor costs. As an entrepreneur, that is essential for me and that is very useful for me, and it improves the quality of my work automatically. So I think, moving forward, I completely agree with some of the findings that you just presented. We need a workforce that is very, understanding how humans and AI can work together. And I think we should look at AI, at least in its current form, very much like the way we looked at Microsoft Office or Google, that, when Google came in, you used Google to search everything. That's what we do today. It's mainstream. And I think in about 10 to 15 years, the use of AI will also be mainstream. But at this point, there are a lot of challenges which we need to get through.
Right, Ms. Nikori, speak of how AI and humans should work together in the future, and clearly you've listed out the positive aspects of AI, but shed some light on what is at stake for the workers, especially with the advent of AI around the world, and it clearly has entered all spheres of life.
Absolutely. I think the first and most important thing is that there is a digital divide, that we live in, and that's the world that we live in. The digital divide exists between, say, a developed economy and a developing economy. The digital divide also exists between urban areas in emerging economies and rural areas in emerging economies, especially India. And then the third level of the digital divide is the gender based digital divide, where men are more likely to use technology and be tech natives as opposed to women. So I think the first and most important thing for us when we're trying to use more and more AI tools is to bridge this digital divide and make all of these groups, be it people in developing economies, be it rural residents across the world, and especially in emerging economies, and women, much more, trained and upskilled to use AI tools and use other digital tools which they may not even be aware of today. The second issue is about what kind of content an AI generates and how can a human discern that. So when we do a Google search, we go for multiple sources and we look for the information in multiple areas and we provide references, when we're writing anything. Now, when an AI gives you an output, it does not have any references. It does not have, a full list of, okay, I consulted these 100 sources and came up with this response. And in many cases, we also have to check for plagiarism. That, is the AI simply copy pasting or is it actually processing the content? And sometimes the write up does not even make sense. So I think from a worker point of view, person working with the AI has to be able to discern these things. But the last point I just want to make is that it's about regulation. That's a macro challenge that regulators, policymakers, companies need to come up with policies of how do you integrate AI in your work, what is acceptable and what is not. Some companies have already put in place regulations banning workers from using AI. Others are, developing their own personalized within company AI tools.
Right, Ms.
So I
Nikore.
think over time we'll see this.
Right. My last question to you on the point you made there, you listed out the pitfalls of AI at a workspace. How do you think we can tackle them?
So I think the first and most important thing is education and skilling. There are some people who have become very, very good at AI prompts. Now, these are typically what we call the AI natives, people who've actually developed the AI tools or have had, or are very close to the development of the AI tools. And the rest of us are just catching up. So what we really need to do is to introduce AI-based education for companies, workers immediately, and also for schools in the future, where, in that's the way we sort of learn about it more.
Right, Ms. Nikore, thank you so much for joining us on WION and sharing your insights with us on AI in workspace. Thanks very much.
Thank you.